Well, welcome to Selling Online. This is a 45-minute session with Tim Gentle from Design Experts. It's all about unraveling accepting payments online. So everything from selling a product to accepting a donation to selling membership and so forth. There is a downloadable PDF that you'll be able to download and run through, but if not, you'll enjoy just watching the session. Now, for those that are in the room, purely just doing this for the recording, but today's session is all about what is e-commerce, why should we use it, the different types of models in accepting e-commerce, the strategy, which is the look, the how, the who, the why, what the banks need. I love this last one, the tips to increase online sales. That's a real benefit if you're already selling online, and then managing and maintaining it. So making sure that it's not just, let's get it up on the net, then walk away. So why would you want to use e-commerce? Well, first of all, people are searching for goods and services online, and quite often they want to buy them on the spot. They want to kind of commit. They want it to arrive tomorrow. In fact, they almost want the product to arrive today. People are becoming more and more confident about buying online. I know that my mum fears it, but now she's starting to pay for things online. And so if my mum can do it, I'm sure that there's a lot of other people out there that are doing the same. Real-time purchasing is quite fast. You can add things to cart, you can order it and get it done really quickly rather than, getting all the kids in the car and driving them down and getting them out of the car and going into the shop. So, there is a time and a place for retail, don't get me wrong, but we need to be able to understand that the world is getting faster and we need to be more convenient for our customers in some aspects. It also gives potential buyers not an excuse to walk away or to say, I'll do that later. If you have a buy now button, that gives them the opportunity to go right then and then to put their credit card on the line. Money's mobile at the moment. I kind of see a day where we don't even have coins or notes. It's all going to be just run off a mobile, and people turn up to events and they're paying at the door, and the pizza man comes to your delivery and do you want to pay with credit card, and swipes it on his phone. There's so many reasons why we want to use e-commerce. But one of the big standouts for me is it allows us to look professional. Accepting credit cards online says, look, hey, I'm up with it. I know what I'm doing. I'm professional, and I'm here to service you. So there's lots of different reasons why we should be selling online. I highlighted just a few. There's a few more on the screen if you want to jot them down, or they're in the workbook. Now, when we're selling online, I don't want to get too difficult here, but I want to pay attention to the first diagram. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump into my whiteboard. Those that come along to a lot of my workshops know I love a whiteboard. And I'm just going to introduce to you how payment systems work. And I think it's important that I use the whiteboard to demonstrate this, because as I'm talking, it allows me to articulate it better. So, this is you. You're very happy today. It's very good to see. So that's you. Okay? And if you're working with a web designer, we'll make them happy too. That's the web designer. All right? Web dev. And together, you both work together, and you've got what's known as a website or a web solution. And that will sit on a web server. Okay? A web server. And a web server, some people call it hosting, whatever you want to call it. This is a machine, this is a computer that stays on 24/7. And let's just say that your website is sitting right there. And these arrows here are you logging in. So you can log in. And so can your developer. So you're both logging in to the website, and you're editing it. You're adding products. You're changing prices. You're communicating with your customer database. Whatever you're doing, you're logging in to a server which has got software loaded on it. All right? And so that software is what facilitates a lot of the work. And we quite often refer to them as CMSs, a content management system. And within that content management system, quite often it has a shopping cart. All right, a shopping cart. And so this is the kind of the central place where we're adding products, or we're going in and creating catalogs and so forth. So step one, just understand how e-commerce works, is you need a website that has a kind of a content management system that has a shopping cart software as part of the solution. Now, if you've got a website at the moment and you're editing it and you're adding pages and updating things, but it doesn't have a shopping cart, then you would need to take that step to either get a plugin. They're called plugins. Alrighty, plugins. And you can get plugins, or you can upgrade. So upgrade or get plugins. But either way, you need to take your website to the next level to have this kind of shopping cart facility. All right. So in a traditional world, and if you just have a website, that's all you really need to worry about. I guess the one thing it's good to show is that we might do them in blue as well. This is where all your customers are, and they're logging in to look at the website. All right, so your customers are looking at your website here. See, the difference now is with e-commerce, we need to go to the next level. And we need to involve a few more things. The first thing is we need what's known as a payment gateway. A payment gateway. In simple terms, a payment gateway authorizes the credit card, and it says, based on the information that the person has entered, their name, the card number, the expiry date, etc., yes, I give that the tick of approval and deduct $200 from that credit card. Or no, I don't. So a payment gateway kind of says yes or no. It's the authority. It processes the payment. Really, really important. Obviously, you need that. So the software solution back here, the CMS, if we go here to the CMS, that's the software that you add the product, but then you need to get a payment gateway to be able to then process the credit card and ensure that the credit card is valid. Now, once the payment has been made, then we need to deposit the money into a bank. So let's role play this. I'll use the yellow line. Your customer comes onto the website. This is the customer here. And says, oh, okay, yep, you sell wheelbarrows. I want to buy one of those wheelbarrows. I will add that wheelbarrow to my cart. I will go to the checkout. I will enter my name, and then I'll enter my payment details. At which time, when you go check out, you're actually clicking check out, then a message is sent to the payment gateway, and the question is asked, is this valid? Is this credit card valid? And if it is, then a message, well, either way, a message is sent back to the software from the payment gateway saying either yes or no. Once that message is sent back, then an email is sent to the customer to say, congratulations, your purchase has been processed. And then you will receive an email back to say, hey, congratulations, you've had an order. The final thing that happens is that then the money is taken from the payment, well, not really from the payment gateway, but It's then deposited into your bank account. So with a traditional website, we don't have to worry about going beyond this line, this middle line. But as soon as we want to sell online, we need to start to introduce a payment gateway and a bank into the mix. Now there's several different models. This is the first model of many. I'm going to teach you two today, but this is the first one. And this particular model that I'm showing you is known as a real-time payment gateway. All right? A real-time payment gateway. This one here. So it's in your books. It's on the screen. When I like to, educate you, I like to be able to walk through and draw it all out. But now that you're looking at this diagram, it kind of, all starting to make sense. But, we need to be able to, we've got this online merchant facility, which is part of a bank. I'll explain that in a minute. But you've got to pay for payment gateways, and you've got to pay the bank as well. And, how much does all this cost? So the first thing is payment gateways. I quite like securepay.com.au. securepay.com.au. SecurePay works with all banks, Commonwealth, NAB, Bendigo Bank, or whoever you're with. And this then works in with lots of different software programs to be able to authorize the credit card. Another one is called eWay. SecurePay and eWay are payment gateways. And so you need to actually go and apply to get an eWay account or a SecureWay account. But the first question that they're going to ask you is, okay, what's your merchant ID? What's your merchant facility? This is where the banks come into play. Before I leave eWay, let's just quickly talk about the pricing. You're looking here at a budget plan. It's $325 a year and 60 cents a transaction. You get 5 free a year. So just jot those figures down if you're starting to think about all this, because you're going to have to add that into your budget. If you go and sell something, they're going to take 60 cents from that transaction, plus you're going to get charged $325 a year. Very similar fees for SecurePay as well. But you need to go to your bank. You need to go to your bank and you say to them, hey, look, I'm thinking of selling online. I'd like to apply for an online merchant facility. Now, those that are already accepting credit cards, they might have a retail shop. You might accept credit cards, through over the phone or something like that. You've already got a merchant facility, but you will have to upgrade your merchant facility to an online merchant facility. And depending on the relationship you have with your bank, they might just upgrade it. But for those that have never had a merchant facility, you've got a bit of a process to go through to get one. But obviously the end result is that you'll be able to accept credit cards. Now, if you're only going to accept credit cards online, you just need an online merchant facility. But if you're going to be accepting credit cards on, say, an FPOS machine, then you would need to apply for a merchant facility as well. Now, banks, they all vary. It depends on your relationship with your bank and the prices. But just purely for today is all about just starting the process. They normally have what's known as a merchant fee. A merchant fee. And your merchant fee is normally a percentage of the transaction. And it ranges from 1 to 3% normally. Then you've got what's known as a transaction fee. And the transaction fee can range from 10 cents, I've seen it at 30 cents. And we'll just whack that figure back here. That was, I think that was 60 now, wasn't it? Yeah, I'll just put that back on. So that was 60 cents. So we're starting to get some figures happening here. And then I think, what was it, like $3.25 a year? And believe it or not, you know, the banks have what's known as a minimum monthly fee. Damn banks. Minimum monthly fee, okay? And I think it's like $20 or $25. So just keep an eye on that, because in your first few months, you know, how the minimum monthly fee works is if your merchant fee and your transaction fee, when they're all added together over the month, if they're not more than $25, then you incur that $25 minimum fee. But if they exceed that, then you just continue to pay. So, you know, this real-time payment gateway, it's great, isn't it? You know, you get to be able to accept payments. It goes straight into your bank. But it's kind of expensive to get started. And, you know, when I work with clients in setting up, you know, shopping carts or accepting credit card transactions for memberships or donations, I certainly introduce what's known as a real-time payment gateway. But I think it's really important to say, well, what other options do I have? So let's just have a quick little look at that. The next option is what's known as an all-in-one. An all-in-one solution. I'll turn to questions in a couple of secs. I'll just get through this particular one. An all-in-one solution is, well, probably the most common is known as PayPal. Now, PayPal can process the transaction. You can either use your PayPal as payment, or you can use credit card as payment. It is your online merchant facility because it deposits the money directly into your PayPal bank account. But then you have to sort of manually transfer the money back into your bank. So you might link your PayPal account with, say, your Commonwealth Bank account. And so you would go in every month or every hour or every day or whatever, and you would say, yep, I'm going to transfer that $500 of sales over into my bank account. But the great thing about PayPal is that there isn't any setup charges or these kind of minimum monthly fees. PayPal is a great way to get started. From memory, and it changes a bit, with PayPal, it's 2.8%. 2.8% of the transaction fee. So that's kind of the transaction fee. And it's about 30 cents a transaction. That's a merchant fee, sorry. You kind of get where I'm going here, sorry. Just muck that bit up. So that one there is, I guess we'll call that the merchant fee. And this one here is the transaction fee. So you've got, and sometimes when you transfer it from your PayPal over to your bank account, there's a small charge. Sometimes it's free, but either way, you know, you can use PayPal, and there's no real need to upgrade to an online merchant, a real-time payment gateway in the first few years. I mean, you could continue just to use this. There are some downsides. Probably the main one is that it doesn't sort of deposit the transaction directly into, say, your accounting software, or it's not itemized in your bank account, which can be handy if you're into you know, the reconciling and things like that. So let me just quickly see if there's any questions. And those that have got questions, feel free to raise your hand and things like that. I'll just bring up who's there. Any hands raised? No hands raised. We'll see if there's any questions. No questions. Well, how about we get the audience involved a little bit, and I'll get you just to raise your hand, just to show me that you're all there and you're all well and truly attentive. Where are you all? There we are. Wonderful. Keep those hands raising. Thank you, thank you. I need like an applause or something. A smiley face. No one, I could always turn on people's webcams. I'm sure, some people might be sitting there in their slippers. Okay, we're going to be moving on now. Oh, yes, we've had a question come in. Oh, thank you. Classic. No, that wasn't a question, but thanks for the compliment. All right, so here we go. So now we're going to move on, and we're going to talk about, I'm going to skip the offline processing. I don't have enough time for that today, I'm sorry, but there is another model for the offline processing. Okay, now what we need to do is just talk about the strategy of selling online, and it can be divided up into 4 sort of equal blocks. What can you sell online? How will you sell online? What does it look like, as in, the interface, and also how does it work, and then managing and maintaining it. So rather than spending too much time sort of, going through each topic, probably the best thing you can do is let me fire some ideas at you. If you've got the document printed, fantastic, you can start writing. If you've got a notepad, no problem, start writing or just start typing. But I'm going to go through those 4 sections right now, over the next, say, 10 minutes or so. So let's start talking about what you can sell online. See, selling online is not just about having a shopping cart. Yes, traditionally that's what we kind of box in selling online, but to be honest with you, you can sell many things online. The first one is physical products. Of course, you can sell, a fishing tackle box. You can sell a wheelbarrow. You can sell, handmade soaps. Whatever it is, you can physically sell physical items. But there's another thing you can sell. They're known as e-products, and e-products sometimes referred to as soft, digital, but they're things like MP3s, audio, PDFs, how-to videos, so podcasts, anything that's kind of digitized that doesn't exist, you kind of download it, I guess. They're known as e-products. You can even sell services online. There are some webinars that I charge people to come along to listen to. In a way, I'm charging for a service there. But if you're a consultant, why not? Why wouldn't you have, go-to meeting sessions like we're having right now and charge for that? Or if you're a bookkeeper, you could, charge for tuition, or you could charge up front. But either way, services you can sell online. You can sell gift certificates as well. They're quite popular and not hard to do. You can sell the physical one, which, you receive the order and you fill it out and you send it in the post. Or you can sell, gift certificates for a shopping cart where, it can be emailed to the person who receives the gift certificate. And it might say, hi Mum, I'm thinking of you on Mother's Day. Here's your gift voucher for Flowers R Us, please. Probably should have bought Mum my flowers, shouldn't I? That's not a good example. But you get where I'm going. They get an email, and then they land on a website, and at the checkout, they type in the code of the certificate, and bang, it's processed. So great for you as a retailer or as an online seller to be able to get that upfront payment of the gift certificate. Generally down the line, they get redeemed. You can accept donations online. Why not? Maybe you're trying to fundraise for a school or for a pool. I've done a couple of donation sites where people go on and they actually buy things. We look after the little bilbies up in South Australia, and you can adopt a bilby online, and and people pay for that. You can have deposits. You're an event manager. You might want to say, yep, look, I can hold that space for you. If you just, give us a $500 deposit, and you can send them to a link on your website to be able to pay for that. You can sell tickets online, tickets to events, tickets to, airline tickets, accommodation, but yeah, really just kind of tickets for events is really where that is. Raffle tickets maybe as well, could be cool. And subscriptions, we've got quite a few clients that charge people subscriptions monthly, annually, once off, where they go in and they get access to information that other people wouldn't have. We have RSLs that sell their membership online. So if I was to probably write another dot point, subscriptions or membership. So you can sell lots of things online. I think we've got to that. Now, this is kind of a complicated diagram, but just to simplify it, there's lots of different ways that you can sell online. And I think rather than sort of data mine this and to go through everything, I'm just going to show you 3 examples of sites that sell online. So this is kind of, how it will look. So let's do that now. Just going to Design Experts, going to our portfolio. Let's have a look here. This is a good one. We'll go to this one. Cardiac Rule. Why don't we start off really basic? This particular website, www.cardiacrule.com.au, is a very simple device that I think you can tell, I think it registers your heartbeat and things like that. So based on the output of the machine, you can go in and measure heart rates, any regularities or etc. It's designed for a medical student or even a nurse or a doctor. But, when the gentleman came to me and said, look, I'd like to create a website, I suggested for him to think about selling online. So it's only $7.50, and imagine setting up like a merchant account and going to Secure Pay and all those other things. I just said, look, let's keep it simple. Let's use PayPal. So what we've done here is we've added an add to cart or a buy on here. These are called call to actions, very, very important. And when I click on it, I just click then, it opens up the PayPal shopping cart. We're about to pop into it now, and some of you may have purchased online and seen this before, and you'll see here that it's got Cardiac Rule. It's still in the cache at the moment because I show this a little bit, this website, but if I click one and go update, it'll drop it down to $7.50, and I can check out with PayPal. So that means I'll just zoom in there for you to see that a bit better. I can check out and pay with my PayPal, or I can check out and pay with my credit card. A lot of people don't realize that, You can use Visa card, MasterCard, and you can use PayPal to do so. So he didn't, have any costs up front. We went into PayPal, and what we did is you go onto paypal.com.au, and then it says, are you an individual or are you a business? And so we set up a business. Up the top here, I just click on business. When I click on business, then you go through the process. And what happens is you set up an account and you create what's called a button. And you can stylize that button. You can see here that we've actually stylized the button. So it looks a bit better than the generic one. So that's why we've got a lovely red button here and an add to cart button here. But, looking back on some of my previous work, this one's she's a little bit old, but either way, it's still working very well. Bridal Ideas Victoria, where are you? Get that spelling right. Bridal Ideas Victoria. Very hard to type here. God, Tim. And when I click on online shop, you'll see here that this has got add to cart, and these are still buttons. When I click on them, I'm about to click on this button, third one down, it opens up a shopping cart where I can then go in and process the transaction. So this is known as a PayPal button, and you can stylize it. Now the next one is, going a bit further. This is where you have an integrated sort of shopping cart. I'm just trying to think, new. New players. This is not a bad one. So, a traditional website targeting tradies. It's a little bit manly, this site. It's got the idea that tradies can log on. You can go and view products. You can go into the online store. It's quite a traditional sort of website in terms of who we're reaching with it. But, you can have a look at the different types of products. You can go into, here and you can add to the cart. And this is a shopping cart. And so when I add to cart, it then adds it to my cart. And you might notice that, you can view the cart up the top here. And we're kind of used to this, where some of us are already definitely using this style. Either we're using it ourselves or we've been shopping for the last few years in this environment. This is known as a shopping cart, but it's an integrated shopping cart, meaning that it's not using PayPal, although it's using PayPal to process the credit cards. It's using the shopping cart, which is part of the content management system. So you remember right at the start how I talked about you need a shopping cart within your content management system? This is what that's using. Some other ideas are paying your bill online. Design Experts allows people to come onto our website, click on Pay Your Bill Online, and then it's a very, very simple form. They come in here and they enter their first name, their last name, their invoice number, the name on their card, the expiry date, is it a Visa, is it a MasterCard, and CSV, and then they type in the amount, $178, and then that deducts that amount from their credit card and deposit it directly into our Commonwealth bank account. Now, that's just such a great way to accept payments online. So there's three distinct ways. First one was using PayPal and using what's called PayPal buttons. You can have PayPal shopping carts as well. The second one was using like an integrated shopping cart. And the third way was using like a payment form. And, I could show you examples after examples of what different people are using. It all depends on your business and what you're selling. So was there any questions in relation to that in terms of the different types of applications that you can do? I kind of whipped through them fairly quickly. Okay, looks like there's a few questions there. So what we'll do is we'll just have time probably to grab maybe only two, if you don't mind. First of all, I'm sorry I can't get to everyone. We'll just we'll go to Belinda first. Good afternoon, Belinda. How are you? Okay, Belinda, you can probably hear me, but you need to talk into your microphone. I'll just see if that... No, doesn't seem to work. All right. Okay, we'll turn now to... I'm not going to play favourites here. I'll go with D. Hello, D. You are now live on air. How are you? What am I doing wrong? I don't think I feel like I'm doing anything wrong. It's all good. Okay, you can always just ask the questions in the chat room as well, guys, if you can't get your microphones working. I know that you'll be able to get it working, Brendan. We love hearing from you. How are you? How are you, mate? Very strange.
Hello.
Hello, Brendan.
Hey, Tim. How are you?
Good afternoon. Where are you today?
In Kilsyth.
Very nice.
That's in Victoria.
How's business?
Very good, very good. I'm helping build an online shop for a pet store. So I'm trying to get a few tips on how to do that today.
Yeah. Well, the next section, Brennan, we're going to be talking about, okay, well, when someone lands on the website, how do you entice people, to actually add it to the cart and to check it out? But do you have any specific questions about the different models?
In terms of just payment gateways, I'm using a program called Shopify, which takes a certain amount off the out of payments are already 1%. Are you recommending that I go through PayPal, or would you recommend I actually do something with a bank, like not a bank, sorry, a different payment gateway?
Okay.
What would be your best advice?
You've chosen a very good platform. For those that are interested in what Brennan's talking about, I'll just mute you there, Brennan. For those that want to know what Brennan's talking about, he's talking about Shopify. Shopify, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, Brennan, but you don't need to do anything in terms of setting up merchant facilities or payment gateways or anything. I think the only thing you really need to do is to link either a bank account or your PayPal account to their system. So Shopify, for everyone, is a system where you can create your own online store. There's some great templates to choose from. They process the credit card. They do take a commission. I think it's around 2 or 3%. And then they deposit the money into a nominated PayPal account, I think. So it's 2% here, Brennan, as you probably already know. So my gut feel is that you have to link a PayPal account to this system. But there's probably some more advanced versions where you can link your existing gateway. Am I right or wrong in that? How far are you down the track? I'm going to put you back on speaker. How far are you down the track with this? Have you got to the idea where you have to set up the payment side of things, or are you just building?
We're actually at the stage where we've built it. It's live. We're using the professional package for $79, and I think it's 1% transaction fee. Yeah, 1% transaction fee. What I had to do was just set up a PayPal account, and you basically plug in your PayPal login details in the back end, and it does it all for me. But what I'm wondering is it more economical to do that, or is it more economical to do it with a separate merchant? Like, do you know any other cheaper merchants out there, or like gateway? Sorry.
You've got a great setup, Brennan. If I knew of something better, I would probably give you some advice. But the way that you've set it up, I'm very happy with it. And on the fly, I can't think of anything better. So it sounds like the 1% transaction fee is kind of that you're also incurring your PayPal fee, are you as well, though, the 2.8%?
Yes. Yeah, the PayPal fee. I believe that's it. I don't know how much it is, but we're sort of.
All up, you're paying 3.8% for every transaction. So look, at the end of the day with Shopify, I don't think there's too many upfront costs. So where they're making their money back is in the transaction fee. So yep, you will be incurring. It's almost like a royalty or a marketing or a licensing fee, this 1%, and that's their model. I think it's great what you're doing, and carry on with it.
Thanks heaps.
Well done. All right, let's try and get people to buy more from us. Let's get up to the exciting part of the presentation. I'm going to skip through that because we've talked about that. And, gee, that's a bit random. So they're actually just lines. What I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about how to improve sales. And I'm going to spend the last 10 minutes of the presentation focusing on that. We've done some technical discussions today, and we've had a great example by Brennan in terms of what he's doing. But at the end of the day, no matter what setup you've got, whether you're using Shopify, whether you're using Design Experts, whether you're using eBay, how do you get people to go, hey, I'm interested, to, hey, here's my money? And these are some of the tips I'm going to work through with you. On your website, I'm a very big fan of we accept PayPal, Visa card, MasterCard. So having those logos on your website is really important. It's a great way to say, this is what we accept. So let's have a look at a website that does that, and you'll kind of get where I'm going. So if I go to, she's a biggie, but no wonder. It's called Kogan.com.au. Kogan.com.au. Now, running down the right-hand side here, if I just bring up my little thing here, how do I close this? I don't know if you can see here. I'll just do a little circle around it so we know we're all on the same page. But look at this. You know, we offer a 14-day money-back guarantee. You know, this is what we accept right here. You know, we accept Visa, MasterCard, American Express. You know, it's got PayPal, it's got eWay, it's got 100% Australian owned. And look, you know, you can even make a wish. You know, when it says here that we proudly support, but probably some of your transaction would go back towards make a wish. You know, I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 kind of circles there. I'm such a fan of this website in terms of the way that it builds confidence. It shows you what we accept. It offers you a guarantee, a money-back guarantee. It makes you feel comfortable. But I don't know if everyone's been watching, but over here, down in the bottom right-hand corner, you know, it's even used, someone in Narre Warren South just brought a memory card. So it's bringing in what's known as social recommendation, you know, making other people feel comfortable because there's other people doing the same thing. And have a look at this, you know, it's bringing in Google Plus and Plus One this. And so what this website's doing, not only is it clean and it's sort of got a fair bit going on, but it's building confidence. One of the big tips I wanted to give you today. The next one is having call to actions. So call to actions are getting people to do something. You know, I guess in the chat room, everyone, I want you to tell me, let's have a little look here. Can everyone just quickly type rather than put up your hand in the chat room? That'll be good. Can you two please tell me what the call to action is on this website? What the call to action is on this web? Oh, sorry, I'll fix that up. What's the call to action on this website? Just whack that over here. I don't know if you can type here. Maybe you can't. But just put it in the chat. No, that's the questions. Interesting. So I haven't got the chat room on the go. No wonder you guys can't do it. Just put it in the question one. Yeah, just type it in. Yeah, that's right. So the call to action is register now. And this is really, really important. Call to actions are massive at the moment in terms of the online world. And so add to cart, buy today, you know, shop online, you know, whatever they are. These are really, really important. Now, cross-selling is also important. Cross-selling is all about, you know, people who have purchased this have also purchased that. So think about it like you've got a torch down the bottom. You would see a picture of a battery and maybe even a spare light globe or something like that, or a waterproof carry case. So really, really important. That's the other one, and that's known as cross-selling. Having various categories is important as well. See, a lot of people just think about, you know, brands, not even brands. They don't even think about putting brands in. But if you've got a product, here we are, that'll do. iPad. This is could be put into mobile devices in that category. It could be put into his or hers. It could be put into gifts over $300. You know, think about the different categories you can add products into. Now, videos are pretty easy to create these days. Videos can be done on a mobile device, an iPad, a smartphone. If you're buying SLR cameras these days, the DLSSR comes with the video capacity, and you can do quick little videos. Now, this particular website is a good little example of a video. Can't stand the home page, and I apologize for the home page, but let me just go into an example of, no, back. I didn't even know what a skort was, but supposedly a skort is I guess it's a lady's shirt, lady's shorts maybe? A skort. Anyway, have a look at this. This is so fantastic. What they've done is a very basic video in the shopping cart. And if I click play, it might come through. We'll see how we go. And you kind of get where that's going. So the whole point of what I was trying to show was they've recorded a video on their smartphone and they've embedded it into the shopping cart. Pretty good stuff and pretty simple. Let's just quickly go through the last few points and then we'll call it a day. So you could do social media integration, so you can have like buttons or share buttons. It's always good too at the time of checkout to say, hey, you've just purchased X, tell your friends. Having a wish list or an add to favorites button is great. Making sure the price is up front and it's not hidden. You can use email marketing to drive people back to the store, or you can set up some sort of loyalty system where it emails them out a month later after they've purchased to ask them how the product is. Mobile websites are really important, and when we create mobile shopping carts, we've actually found on some instances that the mobile shopper is more valuable than the desktop shopper. So really make sure that if you're going to be creating a website and it's going to be e-commerce, make sure it's mobile friendly if you believe a lot of your customers are going to be sitting on a train or a bus or a tram and buying potentially off your store. I showed you the create confidence. Kogan was a great example of that. Make sure you show prices and charges, things like delivery and if there's a refund policy or if there's any postage and handling. Assure security, so an SSL certificate, secure socket layer, that's that little padlock we see on some of the sites. You would have seen that on the Newplas website. Offer them the ability to download things like manuals or trials. And really, focusing on the words for sale online in search engines can be quite interesting. So rather than just, focusing in search engine optimization, and that's about getting ranked in Google, you can use words like Pekin Bantams or Rhode Island Reds for sale, online even, and online store, or buy now, or, we can start to use words like this in our SEO or our search engine optimization. Now, managing and maintaining is all about going into a system like we use Business Catalyst here at Design Experts, and Brennan mentioned Shopify. Whatever the solution is, we just have to make sure that we're going in, we're looking at the stats, we're bringing reports out and seeing what's selling and what's not. There's some interesting things in terms of drop-off stats. We're now embedding Google goal tracking in our e-commerce solutions, so we can see if there's 3 steps that people have to go through, and we're always losing them on step 2. How can we go in and change this? And you can even, some of those people that are right into it, we're now doing A and B split testing to really work that checkout process to make sure it works harder. So there's some absolutely fantastic things that you can do with some of the software. So in summary today was really a whirlwind journey about understanding how to sell online. We talked about e-commerce. E-commerce is accepting credit cards online. We talked about why you would want to do it, the benefits. You're seen as professional. It gives people no excuse. These days more and more people are buying online. We looked at the 2 different models. There are more, but we looked at a real-time payment gateway, and then we looked at PayPal as a payment gateway facility, which is known as an all-in-one solution. We talked about what it will look like and how it will work, and we had a look at a PayPal button. We had a look at an integrated shopping cart. Brennan showed us Shopify. We had a look at pay your bill online. We didn't really talk about the bank requirements, and I apologize for that, but at the end of the day, just note this. If you are going to be using an online payment gateway with your bank, they will want to check your website prior to approving the merchant facility. So we often get a website ready, send the email to the client then sends it to the bank to say, please have a look to ensure it ticks all the boxes. We talked away a few tips there. We didn't get over them all, but we talked away how do you get people to buy more, and I showed you some videos and the confidence and the cross-selling, and there's lots of other ones, but there's a few for today. And then managing and maintaining it. It's kind of saying, well, you can't just build these things and walk away. You've almost got to be logging in every other day. You'll receive emails from payments, but if you want it to work harder, you need to put in things like Google goal tracking to really see where things are working and where they're not. Now, Design Experts do have e-commerce services. We do build e-commerce websites, something as simple as a PayPal button right through to a whole e-commerce strategy with a shopping cart. We do offer the idea of just having a payment form for paying for memberships or secure zones for getting subscriptions into password-restricted areas. We can actually now synchronize your online shop with your point of sale. We've made some good advances there, but it's pretty full on, that stuff. And if you do need any more training and support, we can do one-on-one mentoring with myself, or I've got another staff member who can help you. But if you want to know how to use your system better, I can see a few clients in the room. If you're thinking of upgrading your solution and you want to know how to work it better, just let us know and we'll take you through some of the tutorials that we've got, or we can do some one-on-one training. So that's it for today. I'll just see, don't need to show you all that. Notes. No, I'll leave this up on the board. In terms of what we offer here at Design Experts, there's plenty of different topics. I can see some of the people that hire me to come out and talk face-to-face or online. There's some good stuff happening here. I just wanted to give a plug to Digital Strategy 101. Digital Strategy 101. And for those that are living in the Loddon, in the Baloke, and in the Ganawara Shires, there is 25 workshops coming up in your area. So if you jump onto Digital Strategy 101, there's all sorts of topics, everything from social media to developing a website to mobile devices for your business, and you'll be able to see all those different topics there. So all you need to do is to select one, and then you just register online down the bottom here. So thank you for your time today. I hope it's been very valuable. What I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to stay in the room. Quite often people like to have a quick little chat at the end. I'm going to stop the recording, and you'll get a feedback form, and I'll also make sure that the recording of this session is in that email. So once again, thank you for your time. It was great to see so many familiar faces, and I'll speak to you all later on.